people, if you've ever looked at your spending and thought, why do I keep doing this? Or what's wrong with me? I want you to know this conversation is for you. Because today, we're not talking about budgeting harder, cutting yourself off, or trying to fix your behavior through discipline or even feeling guilt. We're talking about understanding it. Before we go any further, I want to say this gently. This conversation may bring up feelings around money, spending, or moments where you've judged yourself for how you cope. If this feels tender, I invite you to listen with compassion or take a break and come back when your body feels ready. Nothing here is about shame, restriction. Nothing here is about telling you to do better. A lot of people want to stop emotional spending. Most of the advice they're given sounds like this. Stick to a budget. Have more discipline. Stop buying things you don't need. While that might work temporarily, it often creates more tension because emotional spending isn't random. It's a form of communication. And if your spending feels inconsistent, reactive, or confusing, it doesn't mean you're irresponsible. It usually means your nervous system is trying to regulate something. Spending often shows up as comfort, relief, safety, a moment of control, a way to self-soothe when things feel overwhelming. Instead of asking, why can't I stop spending like this? A more supportive question would be, what is my spending pattern responding to right now? Sometimes emotional spending shows up as impulse buying, purchasing something quickly because it gives you a rush, a sense of relief, a momentary lift. That pattern usually signals overwhelm. It's the nervous system is looking for fast regulation when things feel heavy or uncertain. Other times, spending shows up as over-preparing, stocking up, buying extras, holding on to things just in case. That often signals a fear of scarcity, a need to feel protected or resourced when safety feels a little shaky. For some people, spending shows up as avoidance, buying things instead of resting, scrolling and purchasing instead of slowing down. That pattern often points to burnout. When your body is craving rest doesn't feel allowed, there is a pattern of spending on other people, overgiving, covering costs, being generous past your comfort. That usually signals a desire for connection, belonging, or approval, using money as a way to feel valued or secure in relationships. None of these patterns mean you're bad with money. They mean your body is responding to something. Spending is often the symptom, not the problem. This is why emotional spending doesn't change through punishment. You don't stop emotional spending by shaming yourself. You don't stop it by restricting yourself harder. You don't stop it by telling yourself you shouldn't need comfort. You change it by understanding the need underneath the behavior. When that need is met in a safer, more sustainable way, the behavior naturally softens. No budgeting is required. No guilt spirals. That's not necessary. Your spending patterns are not character flaws. They're data. They're showing you when you're overwhelmed, when you're craving for more rest, when you feel unsupported, when you're trying to feel better in the only way you know how. Once you listen instead of judge, your relation with money, it begins to shift. Not because you forced it, because you finally understood it. In this conversation, we're not talking about cutting things out. Noticing patterns is what we're talking about. Understanding the body's role in money decisions, learning how to respond with care instead of control. If you take anything from this, let it be this. You don't need to fight your spending patterns. You need to understand them. When you listen instead of judging yourself, when you respond instead of reacting, your relationship with money naturally begins to soften, not because you forced control, because you created safety. When safety increases, urgency decreases. When urgency decreases, clarity returns. That's how real change happens. Quietly, gently, over time. Now, I hope you were able to learn something from this video. I hope it truly resonated for the individuals who truly needed this message. And if it did help you in any way, please let me know in the comments. Until next time, have a good day. Ciao.